Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTheTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, do me a favor, take a second out, kindly like the video, support the channel. I'd really appreciate that. It only takes a second. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Video goes out Monday through Wednesday. Thursday night is usually my night off because I need to decompress my brain, and then the weekend update comes on. So if you are enjoying what we are doing, again, be a good guy, be a good girl, be a good person, hook a brother up. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. So a lot to talk about, right? A lot to talk about. As my son says, 17 years old, yeah, bro, they fumbled the bag. That's exactly kind of what happened today. Two things, right? Two things happened. Number one, yesterday's video, we talked about what the Bulls needed, right? What the Bulls absolutely needed. Last night when I was recording the video, Tesla was down 7. You know, every Qs were down 3. Everything was getting slaughtered, right? Well, at least hit, right? Qs were down, everything was getting hit. And I said to myself, hey, we actually might get that capitulation, throw the baby out with the bathwater scenario, right? Last night, you saw the futures down, everything is down. I woke up this morning and we were green. I'm like, huh? What did this happen, right? There's an old adage, and I've used this before, and it says, if a tree falls in the forest, but there's nobody around, right? There's absolutely nobody around to see it fall. Does it make sound? Well, if nobody was around on the overnight, and it was a really, good constructive potential conversation you can have with somebody on social media, right? If we capitulated overnight on the overnight future session, but there was literally nobody around to witness it, does it count, right? Does it count? And last night in the video, I said the last thing the Bulls want is a gap up. So we gapped up, right? And obviously, as soon as we gapped up, what do you think happened, right? We started selling off aggressively. But to the Bulls' credit, they kind of held serve. Odd session, right? Very, very odd session. I traded today Tesla to the upside. Pretty good move, opening range highs. Traded Tesla today below previous day's low. Pretty good move. And that kind of got out the way, right? Kind of got out the way because in this market, I always say to myself, trade your favorite stock, identify the setup, do what you got to do, feel better mentally about yourself, right? Less is more. Again, the longer you continue to bet in a casino, that the deck, as of right now, it's a little bit rigged against you, the higher probability you give it back. So I kind of did what I tended to do today. I was pretty happy, pretty content with the day, and then I kind of moved along. But we saw some really funny things throughout the day. If you guys remember yesterday, Twitter was down. So you couldn't, you didn't have Trump in the White House tweeting 95 times a day. It was actually pretty good. It was actually mentally easier to digest yesterday's day. This is how today started, right? Last night, Tesla was down to like 2:15 after hours. And I wake up this morning, Tesla's up 6. Not because of any great news. You know what the news was, in case you haven't heard? Trump told Elon he was going to support him by buying a Tesla. Yo, bro, quick, we got to buy it. And the first thing I tweeted out this morning, I was like, you're not really buying this PR, are you? I mean, you're not really buying this. And what happens with Tesla? The damn thing goes red, literally goes red, up 6 to down 4. On the opening range lows, it goes nothing. Obviously, it responded, it rebounded again, actually went long on this thing for a scalp to the upside. But I found that very, 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 very funny. And then you started seeing really, Trump in his groove today, man. Those tweets were coming second by second. By the way, when the hell did we started getting beef with Canada, right? What happened there? Trump announces today an additional 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum. Bro, Canada's our neighbors. They're our boys, right? That's our peoples. Why are we beefing with Canada? right? Mexico, I get with the cartels, with the drugs, and I get it. Every drugs are coming from all over the place. I get it. I'm not going to have a moral conversation right now. But why are we beefing with Canada? Of all the things going on in the world, we're really beefing with Canada. So he slaps them basically with a 50% tax on all steel and aluminum. It feels like the end of the world again. The market starts selling off. And then right around 10:45, you're not going to see it on a lot of names. You might see it on Tesla because this is kind of where the reversal came. Around 10:45, you see this volume bar, right? There was just a massive, massive volume bar. I shorted the stock. It went down like 2 points or so. Took some off. I thought I was, I thought I was going to get the after hours lows. Never got there. It reclaimed 220. I got out of the trade, break even on the bounce, and then it put up an $8 candle with one of the biggest volume bars I saw. 29 million shares printed at the bottom. I said to myself, well, if the bulls don't mess this up, we can actually rally, right? So we actually start rallying. Everything starts rallying. Nvidia starts rallying. This one starts rallying. That one starts rallying. And then you start seeing the JOLTS number comes out, right? The JOLTS number comes out. The market loved it. The market hated it. Irrelevant. Trump keeps on tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting over and over and over again. The last thing finally came out of the White House. The U.S. State Department announced that Ukraine had talks with the United States for a potential peace plan set in place. They're ready to kind of stand down, ceasefire for the next 30 days. Obviously, the market liked it. Everything started to rally. Even Tesla went at the highs of the day. And then yada, 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 everything got hit literally right back towards the end of the day, down $7 off its highs in a matter of minutes. And if you look at the big picture, nothing macro, nothing materialistic got solved today. Because why? Because again, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around, right? Nobody's around to feel that capitulation, for the exception of Europe and a couple of crazy lunatics sitting on Robinhood trading at 2:30 in the morning, does it make a sound? Did we capitulate? And the answer is, well, probably not. So going into tomorrow, right, we're back at the same scenario, okay? We really need that, we really need, in the regular session, folks, we need to have everybody panic at the same time. We really do. You need to have retail panic. You need to have margin calls. You need to have the world end, right? The world end, as far as a retail trader goes, the world end. And then, and only then, can we reverse and start taking out the previous day's highs. That's just the facts, okay? Every single time, every single day that we can't get above the previous day's channel, we're just building a longer and longer, a deeper and deeper grave. Because, guys, now we're day 3, right? We're day 3 below the 200-day. We're not even talking about the 50 anymore. We're day 3 below the 200-day moving average. This is going to be a harder reclaim than the 50. The 50, guys, the 50 is 40 points away. Let's forget about the 50 for a while. We got to reclaim back the 200-day moving average. And the longer we continue to build, the longer that the bulls can't muster a rally, the longer that the bulls can't sustain any type of strength past an isolated headline, the higher probability they're just buying time to go lower. So yes, we're kind of in no man's land. The Dow, after losing 900 points yesterday, they lost what? Another 500 today, right? Another 500 today. Right, or more than 478 points today. The S&P was down, got crushed yesterday, lost another 42 points today. And the Nasdaq, you turn around and go, it was only down 30 points. It's held up pretty well. It was up 150, right? It was up 150 with all these headlines. So not a great showing, right? Not a great showing for the bulls. As we talked about in the last few days, yes, is it getting harder and harder to sell weakness? But we actually had some pretty good pivots today. Google took out the previous day's channel, gave like a $2 move. Apple lost a big range today. If you look at the range today, Apple lost a big range. Congratulations. I was at lunch when this pivot unfurled, but there was a $2 move on Apple after the stock was already down $7 on the day. So you can see here, very unhealthy action. Tesla tried to rally today. Again, if you could use the word try to rally, right? It was green today, but again, it didn't take out the previous day's high. And that's the whole point. Stocks cannot go higher until they take out the previous day's highs. Now, the key is, well, what the hell? Again, how do we proceed? I started looking this afternoon at a lot of technology names, and they're kind of in no man's land, right? Tesla's kind of in no man's land. NVIDIA's kind of in no man's land. They got rejected off the previous channels, either the 60-minute or the daily. Yeah, I'd like to see the market rally. I really would. Like I said in the last night's video, I thought we had a 24-hour to 48-hour window to kind of rally 300-400 points. It looked kind of good here when I logged off, when I went to the gym around 2:30. We were up 150, and then we're down 30. So nearly a 200-point decline into the close. Obviously, it didn't help things out. So I started, looking at other names, right? And let me share some setups that I kind of like for tomorrow. They're not really the mega cap names that we talk about all the time, but they're not bad. They're not bad. And the reason why they're not bad is they're holding on to a major demand zone. Let's start off with Paychecks, right? Again, not a typical name I would discuss, but we all know the importance of the 50-day moving average, don't we? Right? And this was an absolute aggressive reversal, engulfed literally a month worth of channels. It stopped at the 50-day moving average. Guys, watching Paychecks for tomorrow. Again, there's not a lot of names that are still above the 50-day moving average. Let's keep an eye on this thing. This thing starts losing the 50-day moving average. Maybe this thing has a day two. Let's definitely keep an eye on it. Look at Nike, right? Look at Nike. Same thing, right? Same thing. Nike today closed below the 50-day moving average. Let's see if Nike can confirm today's channels tomorrow. Maybe we could have a day two. Again, beggars can't be choosers at this point. Okay, what would you rather do? Short a stock below the 50-day moving average confirmation, or continue to pound Tesla down 130 points from the 50-day moving average? Right? It's a little bit of a harder trade. Look at Uber. Right? Look at Uber as well. Uber is holding on to the 50-day moving average. You see my point? It's the same thing over and over again. Stocks lose the 50-day moving average. They go lower. So I'm just giving you 3 ideas for tomorrow at stocks that are holding on to the 50-day moving average. If they lose them tomorrow, we could get definitely another day down. Look at Zillow, right? Look at Zillow. Not as, obviously not the 50-day moving average, but it's holding on to the last bit of support here, right? The last bit of support, I think this is a 65-day. Keep an eye on this thing. If Zillow starts losing the 65-day tomorrow, we go lower as well. In case we rally tomorrow. It's possible, right? Again, Avago, let's keep an eye on Avago. Avago today got rejected at its earnings highs. Let's keep an eye on that. NVIDIA got rejected today at the 5-day moving average. Who knows if we rally tomorrow? Maybe if it reclaims back the 5-day. Again, maybe. This is a maybe. And Tesla, right? And Tesla. I'm always watching the names for a reversal. This thing actually does have room. We did see some pretty good aggressive call buying today, but man, I've been watching aggressive call buyers on Tesla for the last 120 points. I've said this all along, guys, and I've been in this industry for a long, long time. For the hedge fund industry, when you see these big bets, always remember this much. It's much easier to raise money than to manage money, right? And all these guys is, $300 calls. You're betting 300 weeklies? I'll take it, right? I don't know how it's done, but I'll take it, right? I'll take the other side of that equation. Again, very, very ridiculous bets. Hope to God to pray bets. That's not exactly what you want to do when you are trading. So again, I definitely want to watch both sides of the market tomorrow. Obviously, a lot of the tech names right now are back to their middle of the channels. A lot of slop, a lot of mess. Still, we're getting tons and tons of headlines that's just obviously not doing anything for anybody today. But I did kind of manage the last 2 days. I talked about in the weekend update. I'm going to shift my gears a little bit, kind of react and adjust to what we're doing. And so far, so good. The last couple of days have been decent. Again, I traded Tesla today. I only traded Tesla today, once to the long side, once to the short side. I missed a pretty big move on Apple today at lunch, but it's okay. It's okay. Again, less is more. In this type of environment, you really have to know your levels. Again, we talk about the importance of levels in a bull market. Well, this is the opposite, right? So if you are trading, you really have to understand the significance of where the supply and demand zones are, because if you don't understand, if you don't try to outsmart the market, you are going to kind of run out of your solvency status. So again, market continues to build below the 200-day moving average. Tomorrow we have CPI. Again, is it going to move the needle tomorrow? We'll see. All right, we'll see. But again, be prepared on both sides of the market. Be an adult, and the most important part is stay solvent. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great night, and with God's help, we'll see you all tomorrow.